Hello and welcome to you all, and today we are going to learn about Memento Design Pattern. This design pattern basically belongs to the behavioral design family, and this is one of the very easy to implement but very good solution for the situation where you want to do the frequent undo or the redo operation with the state of the object. So if you are in a situation where you want to save the state of the object and after that you need to perform frequent redo or undo operation with those changes of the object, then this is the best design pattern to handle this particular situation. If you look into the diagram, there are majorly three components of the Memento design pattern. Number one is originator, number two is caretaker, and number three is memento. So originator is the object basically whose state we want to save or maintain, and caretaker is the object which completes the responsibility to save and retrieve the state of originator object, and memento is the snapshot of the state of the object that basically we want to handle or we want to manage in our application. So if you want to implement Memento design pattern in your application, then you need to take care of these three components, and fourth part will be the code itself that will basically use this Memento design pattern implementation. And the condition in which you need to implement this Memento design pattern will be the situation where you need to do frequent undo or the redo operation with the state of the object. There are some practical example I am giving you either in the video game or in the drawing application or in the text editor application. So these are the three real world example in which this Memento design pattern is used.
For the demonstration purpose, I am taking here example of the text editor application. I am assuming that you are familiar with the RX Swift and the RX Cocoa, but if you feel any problem in terms of the conceptual understanding of the RX Swift, then you can take a look to one of my series on the same subject, and that will help you in terms of building all the basic knowledge about the RX Swift concepts. To implement the Memento design pattern for the text editor application, the very first class that we are going to make is text editor itself, and that will work as the originator component of the Memento design pattern. So to make the state property of the text editor as the observable, we are taking it as a behavior relay of the string type. There is a constructor on the line number 17, and there are two other functions also that will help basically saving the state of the text editor and restoring the state of the text editor. Now the thing is, this is the very simple example where the only attributes in the state of the text editor is its string, basically whatever text you are writing. But in the complex scenarios or in the complex examples, you could have multiple attributes in the state of originator. So that's why we are maintaining a separate snapshot class that is known as Memento for the text editor, that is having right now only one attribute. But for the complex application, you would be having multiple attributes in this snapshot class. So right now the state of the text editor is represented with the help of Memento class that is having only one property, that is a state, and that is of string type. Next class that we are going to implement is caretaker, and this is one of the most important class in the Memento design pattern because it has the responsibility to save the state and to restore the state whenever your application demands. So right now we are having basically two properties in this particular class. One is the Mementos array that is of type Memento snapshot that we have already discussed. This is the array that will be used to save all the states of your text editor. And the next part is very important, where what we are doing is we are basically setting the caretaker as the subscriber of all the changes in the state of text editor, and this we are doing with the help of RX Swift. So whenever any change will occur in the state property of the text editor, then those changes will get propagated to your caretaker class with the help of this particular subscription, and then your caretaker will basically initiate the save state function. And what this save state function will do, this save state function will append all the next states of the text editor into this particular array. And whenever we need to restore the state of the text editor, we just need to pass the index, that up to what index we need to store the state of text editor, and then this particular function will be triggered. So this is the implementation of the caretaker class. And now this is the code part where we are actually utilizing the implementation of Memento design pattern. At the line number 67, we are having a text editor object that is initialized with the help of a string. This is the initial state. We are having a caretaker object that is basically a subscriber of the state property change of the text editor with the help of this particular code section. So whenever any change will happen in the state property of the text editor, this code will automatically fire with the help of RxSwift implementation. So now at the line number 70, we are changing the state of text editor with the help of this particular line. Now our text editor is having two states basically. And at the line number 73, what we are doing is we are restoring the state of our text editor to index 0. And now let's run this particular implementation. And let's see, it should print this is initial state. So you can see the last output is this is initial state. So I will say this is a very basic implementation of the Memento design pattern with a very basic example. In the complex example, you would be able to maintain a complex class for the Memento snapshot also. But the most important thing is to have the understanding of all the components that you need to maintain in your code while implementing Memento design pattern. That is, first is originator, second is the Memento, and third is the caretaker. If you take care of these 3 points, no matter how much complex application you are going to build, you would be able to implement this Memento design pattern very easily.
I hope you like this quick tutorial on the Memento design pattern. If you have any feedback, any suggestion, then do not forget to provide us in the comment section. Always feel free to drop me an email on my email ID, that is venugopaltewari@gmail.com. In the last, I will say only one thing. For the upcoming videos, stay tuned to our channel, stay motivated and keep learning with us. Thank you.